The story of BDS commences in July 2005, when a conglomeration of 170 Palestinian civic organizations put forward a global boycott of Israel. This action was in retaliation towards Israel's disobedience to international law and perpetual violations of Palestinian rights. And the principal aim of BDS? To pressurize Israel to fulfill its responsibilities under international law through peaceful routes. Certainly, let's explore the BDS movement's role in boycotting Israeli products in more detail. 1. Worldwide coordination. BDS functions as a decentralized organization with grassroots backing in numerous countries globally. This worldwide coordination aids the movement in aligning its boycott efforts across regions, focusing on multinational companies with Israeli connections, and intensifying its influence through collaborative action. 2. Consumer consciousness. BDS campaigns strive to enlighten consumers about product origins and the ethical implications of buying goods from Israel. By offering information about companies and products associated with the Israeli occupation and human rights infringements, BDS enables consumers to make educated decisions and partake in the boycott. 3. Corporate responsibility. BDS campaigns for corporate responsibility by pressurizing companies to terminate their participation in activities that support Israeli violations of international law. This might involve calls for companies to halt operations in Israeli settlements, terminate contracts with the Israeli military or government, or adopt ethical sourcing policies that exclude products' territories. 4. Academic and cultural boycotts. Beyond boycotting products, BDS advocates for academic and cultural boycotts of Israeli institutions and events as part of its comprehensive strategy. These boycotts target academic institutions, cultural establishments, and events sponsored by or associated with the Israeli government as a means of protesting its policies and advocating solidarity with Palestinians. 5. Public awareness movements. BDS organizes public awareness movements to enlighten communities about the underlying causes of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, the effects of Israeli policies on Palestinian lives, and the significance of international solidarity in achieving justice and equality. These movements use various methods, including social media, public events, educational materials, and community outreach initiatives. 6. Interaction with civil society. BDS interacts with civil society organizations, trade unions, student groups, faith communities, and other stakeholders to forge coalitions and alliances that support the boycott. By encouraging collaboration across a wide range of sectors, BDS bolsters the broader movement for Palestinian rights and enhances its global impact. 7. Legislative advocacy. BDS campaigns for legislative actions at the national and international levels to hold Israel responsible for its violations of international law. This includes lobbying for sanctions, arms embargoes, and diplomatic isolation of Israel, as well as opposing laws and policies that aim to suppress or criminalize boycott activities. 8. Solidarity with Palestinian civic society. BDS takes inspiration from and aligns itself with the call for boycott, divestment, and sanctions issued by Palestinian civil society in 2005. By focusing its efforts on the requests of Palestinian organizations and grassroots movements, BDS aims to amplify Palestinian voices and support their fight for freedom, justice, and self-determination. Overall, the BDS movement has a diverse role in rallying support for the boycott of Israeli products. Through its global reach, strategic coordination, and commitment to peaceful resistance, BDS looks to challenge Israeli policies of occupation, colonization, and apartheid, and promote the cause of Palestinian rights and liberation. BDS serves as a central organizing force for the boycott of Israeli products. It raises awareness about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and promotes the boycott as a means of solidarity with the Palestinian people. BDS advocates often organize campaigns, protests, and educational events to mobilize support for the boycott. The movement identifies specific Israeli products and companies to target based on their involvement in activities deemed complicit in human rights abuses or violations of international law. BDS encourages coalition building among various groups and organizations that support Palestinian rights, including human rights organizations, trade unions, student groups, faith-based organizations, and social justice movements. By fostering solidarity across diverse sectors, BDS amplifies the impact of boycott efforts and strengthens the movement. BDS has a global reach, with supporters and activists in numerous countries around the world, enabling coordination of boycott efforts internationally and exerting pressure on multinational corporations operating in Israel or profiting from the occupation. In addition to boycotting Israeli products, BDS advocates for divestment from companies complicit in Israeli violations of international law and calls for the imposition of sanctions on Israel by governments and international bodies to pressure Israel to comply with international law. BDS utilizes media and public relations strategies to raise awareness about its goals and activities, counter misinformation, and garner public support for the boycott. Lastly, BDS engages in legal advocacy to challenge anti-boycott laws and regulations that seek to suppress or criminalize boycott activities. In summary, the BDS movement plays a central and influential role in organizing and mobilizing support for the boycott of Israeli products. By leveraging nonviolent economic pressure tactics, BDS aims to hold Israel accountable for its policies and actions in the occupied Palestinian territories and advance the cause of justice and equality for Palestinians. While the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is complex and multifaceted, BDS believes in the power of economic pressure as a tool for change. Whether this approach will ultimately lead to a resolution remains to be seen. Yet one thing is clear: BDS has fundamentally altered the dynamics of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, highlighting the role of economic factors in geopolitical disputes. As we delve deeper into the BDS movement, let's further explore its impact and the controversies surrounding it. BDS has always emphasized nonviolent resistance, using boycotts, divestment, and sanctions as peaceful means to pressure Israel to comply with international law and respect Palestinian rights. Yet it has not been without its fair share of opposition and controversy. The BDS campaigns have indeed had an impact on Israeli companies and industries, with some reporting losses or facing challenges due to the boycotts. However, it's important to note that the scale of this impact varies and is a subject of ongoing debate. On the other hand, the Israeli government has taken measures to counter BDS, aiming to undermine its influence and legitimacy. These measures have included legal actions, public relations campaigns, and lobbying efforts. Internationally, BDS has seen both recognition and support, but also criticism. While many laud the movement for its nonviolent approach and focus on human rights, others have leveled accusations of anti-Semitism, infringement of academic freedom, and violations of free speech rights against it. These controversies continue to fuel heated discussions about the legitimacy and effectiveness of the BDS approach. Interestingly, BDS has also fostered intersectional solidarity, connecting the struggle for Palestinian rights with other social justice movements around the world. This has helped to broaden its base of support and increase its global visibility. Looking to the future, BDS seeks to achieve more than just an economic boycott. Its long-term goals include fundamental changes in Israeli policies and practices towards Palestinians. Whether it will achieve these goals is uncertain, but the movement continues to be a significant player in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. In summary, the BDS movement plays a multifaceted role in the boycott of Israeli products, emphasizing nonviolent resistance, global solidarity, and the pursuit of justice for Palestinians. Despite facing challenges and opposition, BDS continues to grow in strength and influence, underscoring its role as a powerful force for change in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.